Hello there everyone, my name's Ayumu Kagami, and I have been posting a lot of content recently. I'm sorry about that, but I wanted to just do another video of this and Katawa Shoujo episode. I have no clue whatsoever what episode this is, but it's been a while, so I'm not 100% sure, so I'm going to read this first line again. I cast my eyes across the cafe as the three of us step in. As usual, there are only a handful of people here at most, and the noise level is quiet background hum. I hold Lily. The hold Lily has on Hanako's arm remains, just as if it has been for the entire slow walk down the hill to the local town. Though it's hard to say from which reason, from Lily's guidance or for Hanako's reassurance. For a moment, Lily removes her arms from Hanako to retract her cane as Yuko quickly skitters over to where we stand, but soon replaces it right back where we start. Alright. Sorry about this. Welcome to the Shanghai. May I take your order? She gives a deep bow. Her well-delivered and professional introduction puts her in a good mood and a nice change from Yuko. Just tea, please. Hanako. Hiseo. I'll have a slice of pie and a coffee. Just tea, please. Coming right up. Please take your seats. Please take any seats you wish, and I'll be back shortly. Yuko gives a smile and nods before shuffling to the corner, make our way in some empty seats in the window for quick measure. We slip into our seats, the girl on one side with Lily's cane propped up beside them, and I on the other. I realize that Hanako's not doing something she so often does. Rather than keeping her eyes pinned to the ground and hiding behind her blind escort, busily trying to convince herself that the world around her doesn't actually exist, she's merely keeping her eyes low and helping Lily around. Are you okay, Lily? You look tired. She lowers her head a little, looking somewhat embarrassed, and then lets it show. Class representative work can be very tiring, considering that it often means dealing with the student council. Very tiring indeed. How do the other representatives go? Better than I, but not by much. Shizune is a harsh taskmaster no matter whom she deals with. But it doesn't sound like you particularly relish the job. Why do you do it in the first place, if it's that bad? Being a class representative is enjoyable, and I can deal with the responsibility well enough. It's just that the people involved are sometimes... She trails off, cutting her words at the rather opportune spot. It's hard to imagine Lily cursing, but I imagine that if anyone could make her do so, it would be Shizune. Hanako looks to be withering a bit in the light of Sorry. Hanako looks to be withering a bit in the light of such conflict, but before I can steer the topic away a little, she stands up. Hanako? I'll be back in a bit. With that, she leaves for the restroom. I suppose that's the only one way to deal with the situation, if that was indeed her motivation. Lily, however, looks a little wounded. Don't worry about it. I think it was her. It was you. Wasn't you. But I think she's getting stronger recently. You've seen it yourself, right? That went a bit awry. Fortunately, Lily doesn't look offended, and by now I really shouldn't be quite so scared of stepping on a landmine around her. Possibly. Sometimes I find it hard to tell, though. Silence reigns for a moment before 2 teacups, a pie, and a mug of steaming coffee appear in front of us. I notice that Yuko takes special care to place the teacup against the tip of Lily's fingers, letting her know where it is. There you go. Thanks, Yuko. Thank you. With a quick and silent bow, and the bespectacled waitress takes her leave. That's right. I've been meaning to ask you something, and now would be the right time to do so. I'm all ears. Hanako's birthday is coming up, and I was hoping that you might accompany me for a present shopping in the city this weekend. Hanako's birthday is soon. I suppose it would be a nice change to cheer her up a bit. Like Yuko, she always seems to be teetering on the edge of either panic or depression. And I've never seen her enjoy herself so much outside of chess games. At that aside, learning the layout of the city better with a friend would keep me company sounds like a good way to spend a weekend. Sure, I'd be happy to. Have you got any plans for what to do for her birthday? A party or something? Hanako's being Hanako, perhaps a low-key affair would be. Lily suddenly cuts herself short, leaving me to wonder why she brings her teacup to her lips and begins to sip. After a few seconds, I noticed Hanako walking up to us over her shoulder. Lily's hearing must be very good indeed if it was the sound of the restroom door opening that tipped her off. Hanako takes a seat once again and wastes no time in drinking her tea. Soon the three of us quietly eating and drinking as the sun sets. It's a nice way to spend the remainder of the day's light, and it makes me appreciate the quiet and serene surroundings of Yamaku. I think I am beginning to take life here, as isolated as it might be. I finish off the last of my coffee and rest the mug on the table while the girls talk between themselves. The coffee here is a little bitter for my taste, but still quite good. Better than I can make myself in any case. The girls' discussion is mainly focused on their respective reading preferences, which does give me a little curiosity about a related topic. Hey Hanako, I was just wondering, aside from chess and reading, do you have any hobbies or things you like to do? She completely stopped in her tracks, looks quite surprised that anyone would be interested in asking such a question about her. It takes her a little time to formulate a response. I guess I like singing a little. I'm okay with computers as well, but I don't use them that much. Singing not exactly something I expect to hear, but it's hard to imagine her singing voice, given how soft-spoken she is. Lily, on the other hand, simply nods. She must already know she must already know all this, since she's been friends with Hanako for 1 year or so by now. What about me? She hesitates before quickly flicking her head up and down. It's only logical that she'd want me to talk about my hobbies after she told me hers. There's chess, obviously. But also, there was soccer as well, though. I can't really do that anymore. Reading, which I picked up in the hospital, this is surprisingly hard. Lily and Hanako look a little put off by the direction of this is taking, and the more I think about it, the more I am too. It sounds as if you've picked up quite a few things since your accident. Lily's candor is coated with probably the most positive spin one could put on it, what I said. Hanako, however, is silent. If a situation becomes difficult, her reaction always seems to be withdrawn into silence, in order to prevent things from getting worse. That, or physically retreating. A soft ringing gives us a pause, as Lily reaches into her pockets and obvious that it's coming from her phone. Sorry. It's okay. Lily gives a quick nod before shuffling out of her seat and taking the call a little distance away, to avoid disturbing the two of us. Must be nice to be popular. Hanako smiles, but doesn't take up the hook for further discussion. I just end up sitting back and closing my eyes, relaxing as best I can. It's nice and peaceful here. I wonder what it'd be like to have grown up somewhere like this rather than in a city. You came from the city? Looks like I found something she wants to talk about. Yeah, you could say that. You could say I was a city kid through and through. It sounds like a lot has changed. It did. I'm still not quite sure what to make of all of it, though it has been quite a cultural shock in more ways than one. You must have gone through something like that when you were first arrived at Yamaku, right? I'd imagine most new students would. Not really. Hanako gazed a little to the side, looking unwilling to go on. I tilted my head inquisitively, but the couple of seconds passed with no further answer. But can't we deal with that on Monday? The fallout has already settled from the last. I understand. I'll try to talk her down. You know what she's like when she gets locked out onto an idea. Yes, thank you. I'll talk to you later then. Goodbye. Lily's conversation ends with a snap of her phone closing. She returns to our table but doesn't take her seat. Need to go? Unfortunately, class representative work calls once again. I can come with you. It's alright, Hanako. I'll just be going straight to the student council. There's no need to spoil a fun evening on my account. Besides, if you were to accompany me on your way back to the school, you would keep our poor Hiseo company. Okay, who would keep his? I can join you for tea again later tonight if you'd like. I may well need it. Well, we agreed on that plan, and Lily says her farewells to the both of us, taking her cane after Hanako passes it to her. Despite my offer to pay for Lily's share, she insists on giving us her portion of the bill, and gives her regard to Yuko as she takes her leave. And then we're alone. It may be all well and good, but to leave Hanako and I alone to have some time together, but all it typically means is the two of us sit near each other in silence for a while. I wonder what it must look like to Hanako. I never thought of myself as a scary person, but to have someone of my own age acting this way around me makes me intensely self-aware, as if it's my fault that she's so troubled. She might be more used to people if she were to stop being so cloistered in Yamaku. But then again, when even people much older than her react so strongly after a single glance at her face, she may well feel that way, I don't know. It's a real catch-22. If she stays in Yamaku, she won't get used to socializing, but if she leaves, any effort she might try would get thrown back in her face by people who can't deal with her scarring. Want to order something else to keep us going? We haven't had much of a dinner, after all. Hanako brightens and nods vigorously. Glad I brought up the topic for her. I catch Yuko's gaze, and she dutifully comes over to take our orders. Would you like something else? I'll just have a sandwich. Have a sandwich special and a hot chocolate. Bit late for coffee by now. Hanako? I'll have the same. She's adorable. With a nod and a bow, Yuko turns on the ball of her foot and returns behind the counter where she busies herself, fishing out bread and condiments and working the machine to make our drinks. Not a word is said between us until Yuko comes back. She smiles and gives us our food and drinks before moving to the customers who's called for her attention. I give up on the prospect of having much of a conversation with my companion and decide to just enjoy the meal, small as it may be. It tastes nice, and as does most of the food here. After having a few mouthfuls, I notice something missing, namely the sound of Hanako eating. Looking back at her, I see Hanako fidgeting a little behind her untouched sandwich. Not hungry? She shakes her head from side to side. Even as she does, the patches of her hair she keeps over her right side of her face, still doing its job hiding it almost entirely. It's not that. Oh, I was all ready to have your share too. You looked troubled. Is something wrong? I'm startled by her thinking that I'm the one who looks troubled, but on second thought, she's probably right. My face may have given away my emotions without me noticing, and she's hardly a dim person. Quite the opposite. We're friends, right? Friends? From the tone of her voice and shrinking posture, it looks as though I thought I've hit another landmine. This is another reason why interacting with her is difficult. The self-imposed psychological barrier she puts up between herself and others, including me, is the most likely, even Lily. It's a shame that I think that we are. I'm a little taken off guard by Hanako's straightforward answer. All the more so since I was about to give up on getting any reply at all. I see. Am I wrong? Sorry, No, it's just hearing confirmation that from you is reassuring. To pick up on what you said... Sorry. It's hard to talk and smile and laugh at the same time. To pick up on what you said earlier, since coming to Yamaku, I've been a bit uneasy about how I should relate with others. To find myself chuckling a little, it's surprising how much of a relief it was, and I can feel the smile... sorry about that. As I pick up the cup of hot chocolate and bring it to my lips. Ouch, that's hot. That's why I haven't eaten yet. I was waiting for my drink to cool down first. I guess I'll wait then. The both of us share a little chuckle. The situation isn't really so funny, but for some reason it feels like laughing is the most natural thing to do right now. I guess we were both a little bit wound up about the other. It was so busy thinking Hanako was the one with something right. It took her to remind me that I was as uneasy as well. And we're going to stop right there. I appreciate all of you coming to watch this. We'll do more. Hit that favorite button. Hit that like, subscribe, all that fun stuff. And as always, have a fantastic evening, and we'll be back with more